Federal transportation officials are headed to Missouri to look for the cause of yesterday's deadly skydiving plane crash. The accident killed 12 people, including a pilot outside Kansas City, Missouri, in the city of Butler. Missouri Highway Patrol says the plane was taking people up to skydive when it crashed in a field and caught fire Sunday morning. Let's bring in CBS News national correspondent Lana Zak, who was in Butler, Missouri. Lana, this is just so tragic, especially when people are going to do something that's really, a bucket list item, something maybe they're scared to do anyway, and then for this to happen. Tell us what witnesses told you happened exactly.
Yeah, hello, Adriana and Errol. So the witness that we spoke with, Bailey Reed, was traveling along this road right here, and she was with her young boys. I want to set the stage for you. Just over my shoulder there, you can see what's left of the plane. And it's really not much. Here's Bailey in her own words.
I saw a plane driving pretty low. I thought it was like a crop duster or someone going over. So
because it was so low.
Because it was so low. So there's right above the tree line right off the highway. And usually crop dusters drop down pretty low to the ground. And I had told my kids, hey, look, there's a plane flying. And by the time we had caught up to the plane, they were so low and sideways and just completely hit the ground with the front of the plane.
What was that moment like?
Honestly, shocking, because you tell your kids, hey, look, there's a plane, and then you're trying to process that they crashed to the ground, the dirt's flying everywhere, the plane immediately lit up in flames.
And Bailey told me it was so low that there wouldn't have been time for any of those parachuters to actually deploy their chutes before hitting the ground. She's actually a registered nurse, and even though the instinct was to run and try and help, she knew immediately that there would be no survivors, anyone who was on that plane, because as she said, it was completely obliterated.
Yeah, I mean, I've been skydiving once before,
Really?
and it's that moment when you go up in the plane where you are the most nervous and anxious. So this is just heartbreaking. That witness really had some key details, Lana, about the plane staying low and not seeming to get enough thrust, I guess, to get high enough. Any clues as to what may have caused the crash?
Yeah, so we spoke with Robert Sumwalt, who used to be the head of the National Transportation Safety Board. They are expected on the scene here in any moment, and they're going to take over this investigation. But here's what he had to say.
They'll be looking at the training of the pilot. They'll also be looking at the FAA oversight to see if the FAA was providing adequate surveillance over this particular operation. Since this is a parachute operation and not a commercial operation, oftentimes the FAA doesn't have the resources to oversee small operations like this.
And to give you a little bit more understanding, this town is so small that they actually didn't have a tower at the airport that was in communication with this flight. So we have very little information to go on at this point besides what we've heard from our eyewitnesses until we hear more from that investigation from the NTSB. And really, because it's a small town, everyone here feels affected by this. We're waiting to hear the names, but everybody knows somebody that was on one of those planes at another time or could have been on it yesterday.
Just horrible details. Lana Zak, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lana.